Today's project is to do oil changes on these two riding lawnmowers. Both have Briggs and Stratton engines, so they're pretty similar. We'll also go through and check the air filters, put a grease gun to them, and do a little other pre-season maintenance to get them ready for the year. We'll start with a John Deere first. It has the 17-horse Intech Briggs and Stratton engine. This does not have an oil filter. Now we have let these both these mowers warm up, so the oil is warm. Helps it flow out a little better. Now this just has a plastic cap on it. Push in a little, pull out. It's coming. There we go. Loosen the oil fill cap there, just so the air comes out a little faster when you get some air going back in. Now while that's draining, what we'll do is we'll go over and we'll check the air filter. Removing the air filter in this model is rather easy. The little latch here, just pull that back. Cover comes right off, and the air filter comes right out. And yeah, it needs to be replaced. We did buy one already. I'll go open up the package. So, here's our new Briggs and Stratton air cleaner. And we'll just wipe out the housing with a clean cloth before we install the new filter. Oh, and there's a little screen in here too. We'll clean that up as well. Get some compressed air through there. Well, I'll show you this before we blow all the dirt off. You can definitely see that it's got a bunch of crud on it, but we'll just use compressed air on that. Well, we blew the pre-filter out with some compressed air, but I'm still not real happy with the way that looks. So I've got a bucket here with some warm soapy water in it, just hot water and dish soap. We're going to knead that through this filter here, rinse it out, let it dry, see if that looks a little better. And now we've washed this pre-filter in some soap and water, rinsed it off, and blew it out with compressed air to start to dry it. And it does look quite a bit better. I'm happier with that. So we'll just set this outside now in the sun to dry and continue on with our oil change. Well, the oil is finished draining, so we're just going to clean this plug up, put it back on. Now I don't have a manual for this mower. I'm not exactly sure how much oil it takes. I'm thinking it's somewhere around about a quart and a half, but we'll put a little less than that in and then measure it. Hey, that's all there is to that. So somewhere around a quart and a half we believe it's going to take, so we'll put a little less than that in. We're using some straight 30 weight Pennzoil. I'll let that sit for a second. We'll see how that looks. Looks like it's right on the full mark, but we'll wait for it all to drain in first. We've put in exactly 1.5 quarts. I think that's where we need to be. Kind of hard to read when it's so clean, but yeah, it's exactly up to the top of the hash marks there. So we're done with the oil change. We just have to finish with our air cleaner. Oh, our pre-filter is clean and dry. I'll go in first. Sits in there like that. Then the other filter, a regular filter, that goes, the pleats go in first. Cover goes back on. And that's it. We're done with that. Now we'll just get the grease gun out. I got a couple Zerk fittings on the front. Well, there's 2 grease fittings on each side. One here on the spindle. Put a couple pumps in that. And then one here down on the wheel. Wipe the crud off first. And give that a couple pumps. Same to the other side, and looks like we're pretty much done. Well, I went to throw the package away for the air cleaner, and hidden under the instructions, you know, not because I ever read the instructions, was a brand new pre-filter. Didn't see that, so we'll put that in. Might as well since we have it. I didn't think to look, really. Didn't need to spend that time cleaning the other one. But that's simple enough. There, done. Next up is our Craftsman mower. It has the 21 horsepower Briggs and Stratton Platinum Series engine. The engine's pretty similar to the John Deere, only a few small differences. This one does have the external oil filter and a full pressurized lube system, so the sticker says. This mower also does not require any tools to change the oil. It has a tube that comes off the engine, just pulls down like that. Undo this cap, oil will flow out. I bend a piece of coat hanger though to put over this to hold it down because the hose wants to stay upright. We'll get her bent up in such a way that it'll hold the hose where we want it. We'll release the cap, and out comes our oil. Let that drain for a few minutes. While the oil is draining, we'll pull the air cleaner apart, have a look at that. A little different than the other one. This just pulls off. Now, the pre-filter, we can wash that. The filter itself, I don't have a replacement for it. I didn't think I'd need one yet because it was replaced not long ago. We'll just roll that up off here and clean it in the same soap and water we used for the last one and let it dry, put it back together. We will blow that out with some compressed air, but it looks pretty clean still. So we'll close this up Then go over and take off the old oil filter. Just cap goes back on. It just tucks up on there. That's all there is to that. We'll move that fuel line out of the way just so we can see a little better here. That should hold it. Now, just loosen off the oil filter. Counterclockwise, of course. Got your drain pan underneath. Of course, the first few drops miss. Make sure the gasket comes off with the filter and doesn't stay stuck on the engine. Take a rag and wipe off the edge here where the gasket and filter meet, or the gasket and the engine meet. Alright, next we'll go prepare the new filter. So here's our new Briggs and Stratton filter. Just take it out of the package. We will put a little oil in it first, and also put a little oil on the seal, on the gasket, O-ring, whatever you want to call it. Now, because this filter goes on an angle, you don't want to fill it right up, but pre-soaking it a little never hurt. Put a little on the gasket, like I said. Just run that around, let it soak in. There, it won't be a total dry start then for the filter. Then we'll just screw on our new filter. Now, it says hand tight only. So that's what we will do. Need a rag to get a good grip on it. And that's just good and snug, not overly tight. So now all we have left is put the engine oil back in, put the air filter back together, and we're done. Oh, we have to grease it yet too. So our Craftsman manual here, it says engine with filter, engine oil change with filter change takes 56 ounces. So that should leave us 8 ounces in the second jug left over. Yeah, that's not quite the amount of oil we need, but we'll start it up, run it for a second, double check it. Don't want to overfill it. That should be enough time to circulate the oil through. Just a hair low, as we expected. Oh, another 4 ounces is it. Try that. And yes, the fan's going and the garage door's open while we're running the mower. Boy, clean oil is hard to see. But that looks right about perfect. So I just have to finish off with the air cleaner, a little grease, and we'll be done here. Now slide the pre-filter back over the filter here. Get this put back on. And we'll make a note that the next oil change we'll have to put a new filter in. That just pushes back on like that. Other than a little grease, we're done. Just get this lid put back on first. And this is pretty much the same as the John Deere as well. One fitting on each spindle and one fitting on each wheel. Just a couple pumps each is all it needs. Other side, and we're done. Well, that wraps things up for today. If you liked the video, found it helpful, consider subscribing to my channel. I'd appreciate that. Thanks for watching.